is like, there's a couple conferences that rotate through every couple of years that are held at the lodge, and I don't need to pay for lodging.
Right.
This is one of them.
No.
So on, if I go to conferences at the lodge, I get per diem, and then I get mileage, but my mileage starts at my office to lodge and back, even though I would only be driving from my house. You can't leave from your house. Technically, you have to track your mileage from the office every time. Doesn't matter where you start from.
Mayor, how you doing?
No.
I'm well, how are you?
And so even though this COVID, everybody was home, we still all tracking in the office. And I'm like, if I have to go to the lodge, I'm only driving a mile, and I charge them 50.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Way.
And I just wanted to say,
So it's
somebody
this
see it
weird
before you.
thing.
Just let me know whatever you need.
Whatever that.
Yeah, okay.
That
That's all I
changed
wanted to
this
say.
last year.
Stay for the whole meeting.
Yeah,
Just wanted to
you're
make sure
welcome
I
to.
did. No, I'll probably go home and catch it by Zoom.
Right on.
Yeah, so I learned a lot. If you need anything from me, reach out. I'm there.
Understood.
Cool, thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, these things.
It has to be plugged in, so you're plugged in for there. Uh-huh.
Meeting day.
Hi. The log, can you decipher what I put as login? People like don't know what the login is, right? So that's why, yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Howdy. Hi, Paul. It feels like almost spring.
It does. I had to take a picture this morning. I jumped out of the car and a tiny little buds coming out of the flower garden.
Yeah, the crocuses are blooming in the backyard. First sign. Of course, it's about a month late on them.
I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Hi, Robert.
Oh,
Well,
Stare on your screen. Really? Yeah, you can get a collection of these at the end of the, my career.
yeah, there you go. How you been, buddy?
I don't know.
Thank you, sir.
And that's why they're sticking with.
Give that to Leona for me.
So sorry. Don't know what happened. It'll be just a moment.
Who else is on there? Who's the other panelists?
But that's just me.
Oh.
Oh, well. Retirement is awesome.
Oh, thanks. Talk to you right now.
Someday.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep moving it away from. Give you a little bit of hope, take it away. Like playing golf. Lag, give you hope.
All this weather should make sales go up. It does.
There you go, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, December, January, those are, it's,
Kind of tough to convince people, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah, I've used up all my credit, so I had to actually pay a bill. Oh, yeah.
When does it roll over?
April 1st.
April 1st is when it does. So that's nice. They give you the whole winter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's well thought out.
Yeah. I've been curious whether it's on a certain date or because if it's January 1st, that would be,
Yeah. That'd be lame.
yeah.
Usually, if you got a decent system size, you don't pay an April bill. You build up enough credits in April, you don't pay. Did
But you'd
McCormick-
almost want to, because you don't want to give them power.
Right.
Yeah.
Did
You're just
McCormick's
using them
put
as a
in
battery.
battery system too, or they're just hooked up to the grid?
Yeah, batteries are still just crazy.
They still have some things to work out, don't they?
Like cost.
Yeah,
That's
Some big one.
things to work out, like they're not cheap.
as of next year, EVs will be able to power your house. So if you have you can spend $40,000 on batteries or $40,000 on a car, which provides you a battery.
Right.
Easy decision for me.
And then you carry a generator around in the back.
Yeah, if you've got like
Okay,
a
yeah.
plug-in hybrid, like the RAV4 Prime or something, as soon as the battery is depleted, the engine turns on and it's a generator.
You want to be a panelist, Scott?
Sure.
Give me probably 5 minutes and I'll put you there.
When was your favorite day of the year, Scott?
So guys,
Yeah. Didn't we have a council meeting last same time?
that does sound about right.
I was my very first one. Yeah, and I just remembered, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Accurate.
Is it asking you to accept anything?
Wow.
It
So
looks
good
like
fight,
Ken
Ken.
might just be letting Robert do this one all by himself.
No
Oh, I know. He just goes.
Last,
Yeah.
he used his
He's using his,
vacation.
his
time or
vacation
whatever.
allowance that he's never used.
I'd like to start the meeting at 7 o'clock. Thank you all very much for coming. And to invite you to join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You just walked in.
Perfect. No. All right, this is a public comment section. If there's anyone in the audience tonight that would like to address the council, this is your opportunity. Mary, should you state your name?
Good evening. My name is Mary Rapar. I live here in Stevenson, and after the last meeting and the mayor's comments about the courthouse plaza and that we didn't know how much it was going to cost in the end to make the project, I got to thinking a little about public money and how we spend it so easily, and it's free, of course. And after looking at the memorandum of understanding or agreement with the county, I don't think this is a project that the city needs to have. We can't take care of the landscaping that we already have in downtown and other areas. And the project has been going on and on and on, and things may have changed. So there might be time to have a community meeting on exactly what we want to happen. For myself personally, I don't see the courthouse plaza bringing anything extra into the community that will serve the entire community 365 days a year and 24/7. I would rather see public monies invested in community spaces, such as the old Grange, which the county is allowing to go to pot, but is 4,000 square feet, could be a nice community space if we want to spend $3 million like we would be for the courthouse lawn. And so I really think we need to rethink some things. We have a fire hall that hasn't been talked about in a long time and shouldn't be situated where it is anyway. We have, buildings downtown that are rotting. If you go down the alleyways and you see them. And we don't have enough commercial district to support an economy here. We have some nice things, but we don't have a huge, we're not Hood River, we're not Bingen. So why are we really building or trying to build this courthouse plaza? It's maybe something a little bit, not huge, but public money is public money, and it should be spent in a way that benefits the entire community over time. And I think we need to have this conversation one more time. You know, some of those downtown buildings house people. We don't have affordable housing. Those buildings are falling apart because some landlords don't reinvest in their buildings. So maybe let's try to think in new ways and let the entire community come together like we did for the comp plan. And let's see where we really want to go. Thank you very much.
So I would take offense to the fact that we can't take care of the landscaping already. We have a crew that takes a lot of pride in the way our town looks. So I don't know where you would find that we can't take care of the landscaping that's there already.
We have one person taking care of the landscaping, Scott, and we have a lot of it, and we don't have the staff to take care of all of it all the time. And the MOU and that was signed with the county states that the city is going to take care of that lawn. You do not have the staffing or the money to do that.
Okay, so we certainly don't have a plaza yet either. So I would
No,
say
you don't.
we have a staff that does a great job with the
They
landscaping.
do a great job,
Thank you.
and for the small staff that we have.
Anybody else? All right. There have been some changes to the agenda, just a few added on there. Moving along, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. First and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carolyn,
So this is our old business variance request?
uh,
Situation update.
Oh. Jack, wait, what's this part?
we're
Situation
on
updates?
5A.
I'm trying to follow along. We're not doing a very good job tonight.
Sewer plan updates.
Okay, so that's plan stuff. I must have opened the wrong thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I guess I'll just.
Wing it.
It's there, sewer plan updates, kind of they're starting to pour, or they're getting done with, pouring all the walls for the, anoxic basin. I did want to invite 2 council members, no more, to attend the final, wall pour, or actually it's pour 3, so it's not the final one. On Monday, there is actually a great way to view the construction and kind of get a sense of the sheer scope of the project, how big the basin truly is, and how many people are working on it, and kind of what a big deal the project is. So let me know.
What time?
It will go like all morning.
But
Yeah.
only 2 of us. We have to
At a
fight
time.
it out.
Yeah, you could probably go, you could do it in shifts. If people are interested, let me know, but yeah, it would be
Monday morning.
Monday morning. And so one of the other things that you probably read in the notes was that the schedule has been officially pushed by about a year. So substantial completion is now the end of August of 2024. Jack with Wallace is here in case anyone, would like additional explanation as to beyond supply chain issues, and we can get a little bit into more of the why if anyone's interested, but in essence, it's supply chain issues, which is unfortunate, but we are working, or we're starting to look at the moratorium and working with ecology a little bit to see, to make sure we're not putting ourselves continuing to have ourselves in a position where we're not able to accept new business downtown. Different ways to evaluate connection strength, because we feel there is some capacity to allow new businesses to connect. Other things, pump stations, projects, we just got the 90%. So those will be going to bid likely in May for construction over the probably fall, winter. Again, supply chain probably has that project completing about this time next year. So a little bit longer construction window than maybe they hoped. Other sewer things. Cascade Interceptor that we are trying to get money to replace. So
Cascade
down
Avenue.
Cascade Avenue.
That's true.
Oh, okay. The gravity line there. So that's that. I'll find the agenda here momentarily. The right one. Any questions? Me or for Jack?
I appreciate you put the thing about the fish. We're waiting for it to warm up.
Yeah, that's for you,
I appreciate
Michael.
that.
No questions or
Questions or
concerns?
comments for the? This one about? All right, pretty good. You're
Thanks
welcome
for
to stay
coming,
for the whole day.
Jack.
Thank you.
He's dressing up so nicely. It's like he's in high vis, so.
Yeah. The agenda. You're good.
Again?
You're up again.
Yeah,
Darn
right
it,
away.
what is it now?
Yeah, it's right away.
Oh, okay, so, there is well, we talked about this briefly last time. I don't know if any representatives from the project are here. I did call and speak with someone after last month's meeting, and yeah, you are here, great. So if we had any questions for the homeowners representative, they're here. I recall that being something that we were kind of curious about last time, but in essence, Public Works, we don't have any infrastructure underneath the wall now. So
This is Board of Equalization.
So there's two issues, right? I think that's what Dave's leading up to, is that we've got the height and the position in the right of way. So we've got the two matters that we're dealing with. So, but what we're talking about is placement in the right of way.
yeah, that's the only Public Works concern. The height would be a planning or Board of
Board of
Adjustments.
Board of Adjustments.
And that'll be
they're
on the
still working
20th.
on it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is just within the 2 to 8 feet from the back of the sidewalk to the divider right away.
And the only change in the condition was replacing the panel.
As a concrete
Concrete.
panel, we didn't receive a right-of-way permit, but generally when contractors are going to cut into city infrastructure, they require a right-of-way permit. If they were going to, these guys did a wall drain, and we would have required the entire panel to be replaced. Instead, they just cut and stuck it in, which is now a weak spot in the sidewalk. So that, and then also the concrete, another type of panel that goes around the sewer clean out, which is right there at the base of the wall.
No, that's going to be fixed. It's all scheduled there.
No, I think it would be like upon approval and then the applicant's acceptance of the right of way permit. That's how that would roll out. Scott, do you have to call on our guest? Or how does that work?
ahead.
I never know.
Make sure you introduce yourself for the records.
My name's Tom Owens. I designed the house, one on either side of the street, actually in that cul-de-sac. All but one, I've designed 4 houses in there over the last 15 years. But, originally we had a permit from the city to actually cut a U-shaped driveway in, which was gonna involve a curb cut and The problem is the elevation and the fact that we ran into a big, we knew there was a basalt hill there. But there was a point as to where we could, in fact, if I send this picture around, everybody can see what the wall looks like, but,
Shown in here, right?
two things, the street
Very simple.
descends at a very rapid rate, and that's why trying to build a driveway that went in and turned and went into the garage as well as made a circle drive just didn't work out once we cut into the hill and figured out where our elevations were at. So it made more sense to not do the driveway and just do a single drive. So it was a soft turn from the existing approach that was already there, and it just rolls up, goes right into the garage. So this rock wall itself starts at about 28 inches high. And as it travels around on the south end of it, the wall is actually back in behind the setback line because the sewer's there and so is the electric. There is no utilities in the whole run of this wall. The water and the gas come from the street and they come on the north side of the property. So in that run, there's no public utility at all. But nonetheless, I had gotten a hold of, when we were thinking this all through, I talked to Tom Sikora, who had the stonework done on his little hotel down there. And he's the one that set me up along with Deb Bell, coming up with a plan to do a rock wall. So, in that, from what I understood from Tom, there wasn't any permit required, and I didn't realize two things. The wall as it ascends steps back, and when you get 4 feet high, the top of the wall is actually outside of the setback. Or that's what we believe it to be. But if you start at the point where it's 4 feet, there's a run of like 25 feet. We have a section detail that you guys should have that shows how that, and it ends up 28 inches high. So from 0 to 28 inches high by 25 feet is the actual vertical space that we're in violation as far as wall height.
Is that where the drain is too? Is the drain?
The drain comes through there. Yeah.
It's in that, within that feet. Yeah.
So the drain that was put in across the street at, the neighbor, is done exactly with a strip cut and a tube. So we just followed that through, not realizing, we had inspections for all the rain drains in the house, but they weren't daylighted out into the curb yet. It wasn't through. So that's on us. If we need to knock the concrete out and make it a bigger and nicer piece, that's all doable. We had sought, and I've got another group of photos and stuff just around the area, but like for instance, this one. And this was Sikora's project, and they were all like done to the concrete or out to the sidewalk. So we were misinformed, obviously. These are all in the neighborhood up there, except for the one downtown. This is the house across the street. This is another shot of that wall. That wall is like 6 feet tall all the way. So, we apologize for not following procedures or there wasn't the, I know, ignorance. of Not following the law. That's what puts us here today.
Very good. Are there any specific questions that Tom can answer for you?
So are we waiting to talk about wall height and?
That's something different.
That's
Not even
another meeting.
And then Carolyn, did you already give your report? Your thoughts, so as long as those items are met,
Yeah,
Public Works is.
a lot of items were not fine, but acceptable. Yeah, we can accept it as it is.
And Tom Sikora went through the planning commission variance.
Well, this was distance, it was setback, right, from the sidewalk, wasn't that the thing?
It was a variance. He told me that he had gotten a variance through the whole process to put the hotel up there, and they asked him that they said they wanted to do a landscape rock wall up through there and across the front, and he said, fine, but he said, Cesar Hernandez did the stonework and stuff. There wasn't any like real plan as to what they were doing. Did a rock detail, but
In general, I mean, everyone here has probably been up to Angel Heights, but there's sidewalks on both sides. So there's really more development that Public Works would plan to do in that street section for a number of years. And there's also a condition that if and when we do need that space, it has to come down at their expense. So we feel like our bases are covered.
Except maybe the height, and we'll see on that.
Yeah, and
That's
that's.
not related to right away.
Any of our- All right, any questions?
This time I included the draft permit for you, Dave. Mr. Cox.
Packet,
Mhm.
draft permit, yeah.
Last time I did not.
So I don't think we got any letters of support or opposition.
We weren't soliciting.
We weren't soliciting.
I didn't get any. No, so this process is, right-of-way process doesn't have any
Part of that.
of the same as a Board of Adjustments.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the city of Stevenson type D right-of-way permit, 725 North Los Angeles Heights Road. Build a retaining wall within the city right-of-way conditional upon the installation of the protective concrete collar around the sewer cleanout, replacement of the full sidewalk panel over the wall drain, and removable at parcel owner's expense if issues with any city infrastructure is observed.
Second.
First and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a time limit when that has to be installed?
It's hard and so. Oh, the
the-
panel?
Uh-huh.
It would just be before we do certificate of occupancy. Or that's, I'll add that, but that's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
So amended.
All right, Liana. Plaza,
Yeah,
Commerce,
so
right.
at the last meeting, or ever since, I think it was December, when the city sort of approved the agreement with the county, and in essence, received access to lease the property. We then took full ownership of the project as we had discussed earlier in the year. And so with that, it allowed us to then take ownership of the or responsibility for the grant that was solicited in, I think it's 2019 by the Downtown Association that they received from Representative Chris Corey. But because they didn't have control over the property and they weren't the right type of organization, they weren't able to receive the funds. So this agreement is for those funds that the city will then use to move that project forward. And ultimately, it just gets us a shovel-ready project. We had to change some of the language around because of course they asked for $1 million, and they gave, 150,000, and $1 million was for the whole project. So we just changed it to get it to shovel ready.
Good.
All right, I'd like, a motion to approve the contract with Department of Commerce in the amount of $147,000 to complete design Park Plaza project. Period.
Second. First and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Keep looking at you, Robert, waiting for you to.
Quiet now.
I
like it too.
It's
different. I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So it was pointed out to us, we don't have a tort claim administrator identified through the county auditor. And of course, when I asked the auditor, and he didn't know what to do. So anyway, after some sleuthing, we got some information from our insurance company. And this is basically if anyone wants to file a claim with the city. So they trip if
We
They
had
get-
one with the tar on the road. That one.
yeah, you get paint on your car because you drove through and it was wet, here, fill out this form. And we needed to tell the file with the auditor who they send that form to. And so
That'd be
just,
like if a water line breaks outside your house and floods your house or something.
exactly, yes. Yeah, it's like, it's filing an insurance claim in essence, but this is how you do it. And it's called a tort claim. So, and so now it will go to me and then I forward it on to our insurance company. So, but now the county knows that it goes to me.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-406, approving the appointment of the city administrator as the agent to receive claims on behalf of the city of Stevenson.
Second.
Well, you are fast.
Yeah, she's on it today.
Doesn't have technology holding her back. All right, that's a first and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Don't let us down.
What?
Don't let us down.
I know.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean that they still won't just leave it here at the front desk.
Oh,
Just
well, I
depends
know.
on-
I didn't even know that RCW existed
Right.
until that gap pointed out. He's an
Keep
attorney,
going.
but yeah. But,
Keep going.
yeah, sorry. Building inspector agreement addendum number 2. So, the city uses the county's building inspector, and we also leverage their software for processing permits. They're currently using, not Paladin. Well, Paladin was the original name, but they are transitioning to Cloud Permit. And so the city would like to, we were trying to get on Paladin and we couldn't get any movement there through Paladin, not for the county's lack of trying. And so when we are setting up Cloud Permit and when they were going through the process of selecting a consultant, one of the questions was, can we add other agencies to be able to use our software? So it was planned with us being part of it in mind. And so we will be able to use it not just for the building permits, but also for our right-of-way permits, for our planning permits. Right now, we currently use a module within our financial software, which is very limited. It basically tracks it and then allows us to invoice and kind of marks down some inspections, whereas Cloud Permit will allow the applicant to apply for everything online, get real-time updates as far as the status of the permit, holds all of the records in there. They're able to pay online and everything. And it's very interactive, not just with the customer, but also internally with staff. So that's the goal that we're going for, is just to be more customer oriented as far as improving efficiencies and allowing that improved communication as far as where things are at in the process.
Will the customer be able to check where their permit is? That's cool.
That's the goal. Yeah.
So with the county, what do we pay the county for right now for building?
We don't pay them anything.
We don't pay
They get all the fees for the building permits.
Okay. So this would allow us to gain access to the software, basically.
Right, in essence, for our permits. So we have a water permit for a water connection, a sewer permit for a sewer connection,
Got it.
right-of-way
Yeah.
permit for a driveway, planning permits,
Above
land.
and beyond the building.
Right,
Okay,
right.
yeah.
And so that's what we're paying for.
It's lucky right now.
It is.
We have a folder, and so we pass a folder.
Bright orange to make
Yeah.
sure that we,
You see
Oh, what is
it.
it?
well, that and differentiate between what the county files are. So. yes.
I move to approve addendum number 2 to the interlocal agreement for building inspection and plan review services between the city of Stevenson and Swain County.
Second.
First and second, any further discussion? All fair say aye.
I-
Well, you left out the best part. The software allows you code enforcement as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It does allow you code enforcement.
Instead of
Yeah.
just getting a piece of paper that goes up front and runs around, this has
Gordy likes
software
that
that
then,
allows
huh?
it.
Then you have to have somebody to run around and actually enforce the code.
Well, unfortunately, the
That's
person
Gordy.
who filed the nuisance complaint can find out that they're not getting any love, and that's a bad part.
Okay.
Baby steps, baby
Good
steps.
communication, bad communication.
But that tying it all together though allows you to say, hey, you have a nuisance or something that's red tagged on your property. You're not getting the building permit until you get that taken care of. So that's kind of we're going for greater visibility on everything by having it all kind of be either co-located or talking to each other through various systems. Council workshop calendar.
Yay.
Yay. So, yeah, so, Christy, pointed out that, she's on the Fair Board and every time we have one of those workshops, it's a Fair Board meeting.
Right.
So, it doesn't help us to have representation on the Fair Board, for that. So is there another?
I can pretty much do any night except for,
How about the
That
Tuesday
night.
before it?
What day is it scheduled for currently?
It's
Second
currently,
Wednesday.
yeah,
it's
second
all on
Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
Was there a reason that we didn't go? Since we did this on Thursday, we did Thursday?
Like the second Thursday.
For me, Tuesdays are not great. That's I think we initially went for Wednesday.
I think I
So,
have anything.
Monday?
We do the
Um,
second Thursdays?
Thursdays would be best for me.
I don't see anything.
Thursday.
Oh,
I'm
wait a
good
minute.
with second.
I will.
Wednesday.
Thursday's
I
good.
have a problem.
Could we do the first or fourth Thursdays?
Yeah,
I can do any Thursday.
I can
Yeah,
do any
Any
Thursday.
Thursday.
My Thursdays basically blocked off because of this.
How about you?
so-
Right.
Scott.
Okay, so my trivia night is currently the first Thursday, but it sounds like it might be moving to the second Thursday, so I can't commit to either one of those days until that date is firmed up.
How about
The fourth Thursday is fine.
So we do third and fourth
Mhm.
Thursday. Does that work?
Starting when?
Thursday.
No, let me see.
Thursday. Next Thursday.
Are you awake?
Sorry.
So that would be starting,
Make sure it's a holiday.
April
Right.
20.
Oh, no, the 2024 one
April,
has to
it
be.
would be April. Yeah.
27.
yes, then it would be April 27th.
Be starting on the 27th.
Yeah, it'd be starting on the 27th, and that would be where we would be having our retreat. Well, not necessarily retreat, but just where we talk about our strategic priorities in preparation for the 2024 budget cycle.
And it'll still be starting at 6.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
same time.
And I have to say that I'm speaking for David as well. It'd be good to get away because we have a meeting 2 hours ahead. So it's an hour meeting and then an hour break and then another hour meeting. So we're fine with moving off of the Wednesday night.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That
perfect.
particular Wednesday
That
night.
particular one.
We'll have a different meeting. And then a break.
Right,
And then
right.
this, but you
Uh-huh.
know. Yeah, now that works.
I will update the calendar invites
Third
and
fourth Thursday.
we can just delete the one for Thanksgiving, by the way.
Appreciate The calendar invites. That makes
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
update it until you do that.
Yeah, that's-
Do you want me to do one for council meetings?
Yes.
Is never,
Oh, yeah. I
okay.
already have that.
One takes care of that.
Carolyn.
Oh, wait, sorry. Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about for the strategic plan? as far as the agenda goes. If there is, just send me your information for the strategic, for what you want to talk about. So, sorry. Okay.
Environmental and mitigation.
Yes, so, there is someone building a house on Northwest Iman Cemetery Road, 95 Northwest Cemetery Road. And he is, within 200 feet or 300 feet or whatever he's supposed to be to extend the sewer main to his lateral, so. Being as we don't have great coverage up there, this mitigation agreement is for the city to pay to extend it from his lateral to the next intersection with Iman Loop. So,
Future planning sort of stuff.
so
Like reimbursing.
we reimburse 32%. That is his section of main from existing manhole to his lateral.
Ready?
There.
I have a motion to approve the environmental mitigation agreement with Adam Miller to extend the sewer line along Northwest Iman Cemetery Road as presented.
Second.
First and a second, any further discussion?
I just have a quick question.
Yeah, as council, I just would add to the motion though, that as may be modified by administrator, because I think there's a couple of blanks that we haven't completed there. And we've identified who the contractor is going to be. We just need to confirm that they're on board. I think there was one other item on the document. I'm drawing a blank now.
There's just the red line that you put in.
Yeah, I put a red line.
that
in.
was-
I,
yeah.
we just need your approval of that. red line.
Right. And I hadn't had a chance to see it before I
Yeah.
got here tonight. Hoping to finish that tomorrow.
So we need to add something?
I just think on the motion, it should indicate that there may be some blue lines to the agreement that won't affect the substance or the dollar amount. So the amendment is you're not getting the full agreement to sign tonight. You're getting the draft, which is in the packet. There may be some tweaks, but they aren't going to affect what is the substance of the agreement.
We need to amend the motion.
Just, yeah, I just
Came up
said
a
as a
couple
meeting.
meetings ago, then a first and a second, we need to tend to that.
No,
No, you can do it.
no. You do another, a second, so now you do a motion to amend.
Motion to amend.
Yes.
So we don't have to approve the first one?
No, you can't, no.
You can table that.
I don't want to do the amendment.
Give us the
Come
verbiage.
on,
Yeah, so
Dave.
I just say, motion to amend, I'm sorry, motion to approve the agreement, subject to any blue lines accepted by administration and council.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Second.
Question mark.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I mean, that makes sense. That's just.
Right.
Yeah.
Robert's turning over to his grave.
No. I like that.
You
one.
know,
That-
you
because
know
that was
how I
the-
did
That was how Robert did
So,
it.
yeah, so now you voted on the amendment. Okay, and so then now you vote on the amended motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 You get that, Johanna?
I took notes, Johanna, so, we'll talk.
She got it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we could do this more often, then we'd be pros at it, right?
Yeah.
Margie, I just wanted to let you know that, if you're waiting to hear, news about your water leak adjustment, it was approved in the consent agenda. So you're welcome to stick around, but. So,
All righty, we do have some informational items in your packet.
wait,
No.
Nope.
We've got one more F.
Got
One more.
approval, Personnel policy.
Oh, darn it, I
Yeah.
crossed it off in error.
This is changes to the job description for wastewater treatment plant operator number 2.
and
Uh,
3.
And 3.
There's minor change, yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I might have changed 1 too. But that was just changing.
The changes in the packet.
To be direct,
Mhm.
yeah, rather than passive
So
requirement.
just updates of job descriptions.
Yep. It requires one of the certifications to be completed within 18 months rather than completed upon. Like as a minimum job requirement. So, and it updates the duties of the job to include a more leadership type role with administration of Title 13, so the pretreatment stuff, and our significant industrial users. So it's
So
Hey,
as they go up
make
into
sure you go look
2
at
and
these things.
3, the responsibilities increase.
exactly, which really we weren't seeing previously. It was, the only thing that was really different was the certifications, when in reality they should.
We've never had a two, so
Yeah.
to be fair.
Now that we do,
didn't look at it very hard.
Stack it
But yeah,
on.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-407, revising the personnel policy.
Second.
A first and a second, any further discussion? All fair say aye.
Aye.
Now, informational items, the sheriff's department. Chime in, anything to report?
Thank you all documentation that you required, and I'm just here to see if you have any questions about what you received or anything else that might affect our service to you.
Not used to having you here. It's kind of cool. I don't know.
Well,
what
actually, no,
else.
the way it goes is we're not used to having you here. This has been here. ever since the initials.
Okay,
Okay.
but I mean, you know what I mean. You know. what I mean.
I do, I mean. The years that I've been on the board, I'm really glad there's something.
That is my point. Thank you.
Love having you in the room.
Both of you.
Point taken.
Well, that wasn't awkward at all. All right, we do have staff updates. Carolyn, do you have anything else for us?
Trace, I'll get with you on that other issue we talked about.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Good night.
Working on GIS database. We also got our asset management software kicked off this week. The guys QC'd all of our meters, which is exciting, and they're gonna do manholes next. You got the wastewater updates. Devin passed his exam.
Oh,
Yeah, he can now be listed as our operator in charge, which means that there's not an item on this agenda to pay someone to be our operator in charge. So that is great.
He's been
And
working very hard.
he has, yeah.
So that's really exciting
props.
news.
This week we installed, I don't know if everyone remembers, but I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago, Mr. Woods off Monda came in with some concerns about
Drainage.
water. Yeah, drainage. In the broad sense. Not necessarily in response to his concerns, but the city chose to install a stormwater culvert on Monda Road. So we'll address his issues in any stormwater related issues on that road. So,
It's a fun road.
yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, we partnered with the PUD on it. So the PUD bought the pipe and we installed it.
Great.
Yeah. Let's see. We had a right-of-way permit audit last week, and as such, we're gonna start requiring proof of insurance or having the city as additionally insured. So we're tightening up that process a little bit, and reducing our liability.
So when I was on planning, the cabin drive-through wanted a conditional use permit. The question came up,
A right-of-way permit or conditional use?
conditional use,
Okay,
but the question came up, well, how do we keep track of those uses? And I said, well, maybe we should have to be obligated to record them. So is there anything besides just keeping records here on right away that future owners would know that there has been something unique on their property?
it's a great question.
Is it attached to the title?
Yeah. Yeah,
Currently
recorded
not
with the
attached to
title.
anything. The right-of-way permit is currently not attached to anything.
Pardon?
Currently, it doesn't, we don't require it to be recorded.
And so, no, obviously, it goes through the approval process, but the next owner wouldn't necessarily know
No.
that that wall was there because there was,
Because there was a
discussion.
permit.
yeah. So I don't,
Or conditional use permit.
right. So is there You think there's value in at least talking about that at some point?
They didn't talk about that as part of the process for the right of way. And so I can, and of course, you know, as far as insurance goes, they're just looking at city liability, not necessarily informing new property owners what the encumbrances are on their land.
We are working on, as part of our GIS system, to have a parcel layer that attached to that parcel layer is any and all permits associated with that parcel. So you would be able to find easily and spatially.
So then that's how we
anything
could alleviate the need for potentially recording it. It would be right there.
Well, I don't know if that would be public facing,
Aha.
so that's,
But then-
so.
But if
Yeah,
you're
I
looking to
don't know.
find something, you can find out.
What would it take
Would it
to,
not
what
be
would it
public
take to get it attached to the title?
City Works be public facing?
You just gotta
I
record it.
think they have it. Oh, no, it wouldn't be City Works. it
Can
would
we
be the
require it to be
Esri.
recorded?
Some of the stuff.
I want to say, can you require it? I mean, the conditional use permits, I mean, that's, we could include
Part of
a,
that as a conditional use permit is to.
that
make
it
sure
gets
it's
recorded and therefore it's picked up in a title search by the subject purchasers. They run their preliminary title report, they'd have access to.
And then they can
Yeah.
come to the city and
Sometimes the city's not part of due diligence, but.
Yeah,
But if it's recorded.
98% of the time. it's
Rarely
coming-
part of
there's a
it,
buyer.
right? They just believe whatever the real estate.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Right.
So do you want to take a month and?
Yeah, let me look at that.
Visit it?
Yeah.
I've been.
it would,
I've
it would
asked
seem like
myself
that'd be
the same
the
question.
the cleanest way to do it. is to
So,
attach to the
just
title.
as a heads up, recording fees right now for one page are $203.
What's the right of way permit cost?
$25.
Okay.
And I heard talk of them going up another $100
To record?
to record something. So, I mean, we can add it, there's a cost, and it's not gonna be borne by the city.
Right.
So,
Well,
You
let's
don't want
start
to
with
sway
what we
people
can.
from-
We're allowed to.
right. Although they did say we should look at our right of way fees. Because especially for a permanent one, it's a little bit more involved than just saying, hey, I just want to run on the sidewalks for a weekend. So,
Yeah, and making it expensive to get a permit makes it unlikely it's gonna get a permit.
right.
More expensive they are.
The less compliance. So again, there's a balance that we're trying to reach.
Agreed. Anything else, Karen?
Just that the city is, speaking of running on the street, the city is, working with the Columbia Gorge Running Club on the Shamrock thing or the
Saturday?
Leprechaun deal. Yeah, so a portion of First Street where they have to run on the road and there's no sidewalk will be closed and we'll be running people around that section. But
I
hope everyone's gonna run or walk.
Oh,
Neither one, but.
I was actually looking at doing that.
Is that one of those running
My
like
first race, I haven't
insanely
done a
early
race.
start times?
No, it's 11.
11:30, they're doing it late, so that
That's the
Everybody
day
can get
after
there
St.
for lunch.
Patrick's Day. They could be insanely early.
I do have a
Sounds early
question.
for out the day after.
During this past hard freeze, my water meter, city water, one of the new smart meters. Turns out they're made of plastic. Who knew?
Cool.
Was I a one-off or were there more than, were there a few?
So many things broke when it froze. I think there was another meter that broke up in Chenadier.
I just wonder, we
but-
replaced probably brass is what the old ones are made of. We're putting in plastic smart meters. I wonder if it's gonna become a problem moving forward. Or was I just an oddball?
Well, I think we also got odd weather.
True.
Yeah, colder than normal. If only 2 broke, like that's kind of a win, right? 'Cause there's hundreds in the city.
Do we need as a city, do we need to better insulate that?
No.
For 1%
Well,
damage
no,
in
I
an
mean, I
unusually
just-
cold.
No, insulation wouldn't.
It would be hard to do because Spray
guys
foam would
heat it,
work,
so-
but then if you ever had to repair it, you'd have all that in the way. Fiberglass insulation wouldn't work because once it got wet, it's not effective. Why do you insulate with
Concrete.
concrete? There you go. Good idea. Yeah, if there was two in the whole city, it's no big deal, but if it's gonna be a problem. well,
Good question. Not for me, no. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Just want to let people know that you'll probably see a surplus request for some equipment next month. And Chinadier Phase 2 is moving forward. We had a pre-con with the contractor this week. So they're starting to keep working up there. That's all.
Keep me in mind on the surplus, because we have some IT related stuff in the basement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, stick it on there too.
I made some project updates on our website. So if you go to the city projects, there are some projects that have been moved, and then updates on projects that are in process. And one of them, so the Columbia project, I did not do an update on that one, I don't think. But we are still going through sort of the feasibility process on that. And then they're also closing out some of the right-of-way design and costing. And then the feasibility review, it'll go through a sensitivity analysis. So what rental rates do you need to charge to make it feasible, as well as looking at the various designs and what options council may take to help make it more feasible. So one of the things that I mentioned at a previous meeting was that some of the parking restrictions are making feasibility a challenge. And so the in lieu, first of all, I don't think it would be possible with our current parking requirements as it stands. If we do the in lieu fee, depending on what that fee is, makes it more or less feasible. And then they're also gonna do another version with more units, which would take out all parking and kind of see what feasibility that does. So they're trying multiple different scenarios to have council be informed on what directions or what policies may or may not help that project move forward, as well as whether or not we would be able to. So we're going to be purchasing part of the property to do some of the, right. So the goal is to purchase property to do the design or to relocate the road. And then we may, it just may inform sort of the pricing on how we sell back the property that we don't need as to whether or not it's feasible.
And then I think that there's also the bigger picture with this too. This is one tree in the forest of, okay, this makes us look at these types of issues so that when we can start looking at development in other parts of the city, that discussion and that thought process has already been undertaken.
Right. And then I've been received a reminder or a request to remind all council and electeds to file your F1s through the Public Disclosure Commission. Please. Thank you. Should be super easy.
A normal email associated with that.
I have no clue.
No,
I forget. Either email or
Well, because
snail mail.
what was it? It finally, we hit the threshold of population or something, so then that's what was requirement.
No, it's typically all electeds.
There was
I thought
something, we got
I
we
thought, yeah, it was over.
got an email at one
over
point and Amy was freaking out.
Oh,
What's wrong?
okay.
10,000 or
Something.
and it was like over 10,000 you were required to do it.
I just remember that there was some threshold that caused a different type of filing, and it was just out of the blue. Here's this email that says, "You shall tell us about your money."
It's called F1.
What?
Yeah.
It's an F1, yeah. Form. And then candidate filing is May 15th through 19th. So there will be 3 seats up for re-election. So
Three of these
or yeah. So and I forget every time which ones they are. I think it's so it's Dave, David, and Paul are the 3 seats. And so David's position will take effect as soon as the election is certified and then serve for 4 years. And the other ones are just normal 4-year terms, which will take place on January 1st. So. There you go.
What's the dates on that?
May 15th through the 19th. Mhm.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
All right, I'd entertain a motion to approve the vouchers.
I haven't seen them come around.
Oh, they're in front of.
No.
No.
Ah, my.
Oh, my
Here,
goodness.
can you pass that down?
That's the first time I'm not looking at it. There is a website for filling out the F1. I believe it's PDC, Public Disclosure Commission. Got a little, you can just click through it. If you so choose. I still never found out what the downside of not filling out the F1 was.
I think for us, not much, because it's not, yeah.
Motion to approve the vouchers as presented.
First and second, any discussion? All fair say aye.
Aye.
Anything to report for the greater good, either the mayor or city council members?
No, but my first fair board meeting is next month, and thank you for changing the schedule so that I can attend. Because I'm excited.
Anything that you all would like to see on the agenda next month?
I'd like all of our meetings to be this long.
I would keep looking at that clock. Come on, before seven.
The chamber will be at the next meeting doing the presentation. And we might have a public hearing for the moratorium.
Mm.
So. Right.
All right, anything else?
Mm-mm.
With this, I am going to call an adjournment. It's 6:54.
Holy.
Well,
Wow.
I'll let you all know, we're having a grafting party on March
I
25th
saw
from
that.
10 to 2 over at the Barns. And we're grafting 100 little trees from the heritage trees down at St. Cloud Park. It's sponsored by the Grange. That's our community project, is to rehab that little park up Highway 14. So we'll have all the equipment, we'll have an arborist on hand, and you can take your little tree home, or you can send it off with him to have him grow it in his greenhouse, and then he'll bring it back when it's all ready to be put in the.
Nice.
Thank you, Mary.
all.
Love it.
When is that?